All right, kids, it is time for another episode. I am Rod.
I'm Kay.
And we are Nerds for
for
something.
Something.
Oh my God, it's only taken 6 years and we got it like straight up. Look, we here at Nerds for Something talk a lot of nerdy stuff. We love nerd culture, pop culture, geek culture, everything culture you could think of. But we also do some cool ass nerdy stuff. Now, last week we had a bit of a chat. Showed you that we got our prototype for our lightsaber axe. We put it to the kids in the public, and was like, should we call it a lightsaber axe? Should we call it? We did get a comment on our video. Yeah. So we're gonna call it. We're gonna go with energy axe, which I think has it's got a cool sci-fi.
Is that canon? The way that they describe
Don't worry about canon. We're not worried about canon, man. All right, we're just gonna call it. We're just gonna call it our nerdy energy axe. All right, and I think I like the term energy axe. It gives a sci-fi vibe to it. It doesn't put us in the realm of copyright infringement or anything. And you know, it's our take on a couple of IPs that I love, really, basically like video games and Star Wars. So I think, I'm all for it. So energy axe it is. So yeah, we showed you last week how I had done the energy axe, and I brought it in and we did a demonstration and all that kind of stuff. Then I said that I would show you how we cast the head and did all that this week. So what I've done to dissipate, and I've brought it back in with me because this thing goes everywhere with me now. I've got to keep it in a bag, but yeah. So I've started kind of cleaning it up and sanding it a bit. Not too much because A, I have a full-time job, and B, I have a toddler. And he loves cool, nerdy stuff as well, as long as it's related to dinosaurs. Everything. So I've started sanding it and cleaning it up and all that kind of stuff. Now, we were looking for something that would dissipate the light through the rest of the blade. I had a bit of a DIY cheap solution. So here I have some mirror tint, which is for windows. So you tint your windows with mirror tint, stuff like that, so you can see out. I can see you, but you can't see me, right?
Right.
Now, with this mirror tint, this is what I use for my Mandalorian visors and stuff like that. So it gives you that mirror tint. You can still see out unvetted through the lines. I have taken a small part of this. Normally what you do is you put it in a laminate and laminate it, and then you cut it out. So it gives you a nice, hard, rigid for the eyes. I've left it a little bit flexible. So what I'm actually going to do is cut out a small insert to put in there, which I've done, but I haven't secured it properly, so it fell out before. It's probably sitting on the cupboard at home. So I've cut out a small insert, which will go like a triangle and basically take the light and shine the light.
Oh, like a prism.
Yes, like a prism. Exactly. So it's like having, how would you put it? Like, this is like a dollar store kyber crystal, right? Or a prism that would just go through. Anyway, so that's how I've done that to dissipate the light. And it works relatively well. I could show you in the light, but it's better if I show. We'll have a video and I'll show you how it all set up and put together and everything like that. So we are going to kind of do like a space Viking, a sci-fi Viking
Opera.
A sci-fi Viking opera. Oh my God. No, we're going to do a sci-fi cosplay with as sci-fi Viking.
I can see that, I bet.
I'm going to make a couple of these. Because I think Scott and I would just be like, we'd get it, do it. And I know the perfect place to shoot as well for when we'll do a photo shoot and all, like a little photo shoot and stuff. Yeah, so I've got the perfect place to do that. It's and it's local and it's free, so
Oh.
it works. It works. Yeah. So anyway, this is how I have made the axe. So I created a mold box using core flute, or I don't know what you'd call it. It's like the like laminated cardboard or
Oh, so
whatever
it's
it
not
is.
silicon.
Oh, this is silicon, but
Oh.
this is the actual silicon mold. This is solid old Pinky Seal. Thank you to Barnes. We're not sponsored by anybody, but like we've got some projects coming up. So if you want to sponsor us, please, by all means, we would love to, because I've got some crazy stuff planned. Crazy stuff. Anyway, so I actually went to Barnes and got 5 kilos of Pinky Seal, which is silicon. So it's good old reliable. So I created a mold box so it would fit the height of the axe, right? So the axe was sitting like that, axe head. I actually got, and this is the funny part about it. So when I poured this, like I tried to fill up some of the negative space so I didn't use a lot of Pinky Seal. Like this, I would say this would weigh in probably about 2.5 kilos. So I used half of what I had. And I made it as a one hole. I could have done it as a 2-part thing, but I got excited and I just wanted to get it done, right? It's been on, like, you know when you've got those things on the back burner and it's just like,
Just want to do it.
yeah, right? Now, look, and I apologize. I may go off on tangents throughout this, but that is part of just being predictably unpredictable. So, I have, where was I? Oh, yeah, mold. So, finally, I got the Pinky Seal. Finally, I created the mold box. Finally, I poured the mold and left it overnight. And then once it had set, I then required assistance to get it out. Now, one of the problems I had was the hole inside the axe here, where the axe head sits, right? On the top of the handle.
Yeah.
Now, I needed it to come through, but not go all the way through. If that makes sense. Because if it went all the way through, then I'd have to cut all parts of the axe away to get it open. So I used some gaff tape and just covered the top, which created a little blocker, and that happened. Now, this is good because it did exactly what I wanted it to do. Problem. When you have something large and like this, we had to cut, and you'll see it. You can see the part in there that I'm talking about. So I had to cut the mold a little deeper than what I needed to, because we needed to pop the actual cast off.
How did you get the design in there?
How did I get it in there?
Yeah.
Well, I poured the mold around
No. How did you create the shape inside that? It looked like.
the shape of the axe.
Yeah.
That's this stuff.
Oh.
So this was everything on the axe head. So I had the axe head basically sitting in here like this.
Oh, okay. I see.
In there like that, right?
Right.
But it was on a angle like that. Now, silly me thought, hey, I'll find a cheap alternative to fill the negative space so I don't use a lot of liquid. I used what are those things like for the foam, the faux foam that you put in the bottom of the flower pots to put your fake flowers in
the
and
green
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah. So I used some of that, which I thought, it's cheap, it'll work, right? Perfect. Problem. It's porous. So I had to wrap it in tape. Not a problem. Problem the second. It's lightweight. So when I poured the mold, I'm so happy I did not have video of this because, like,
Fail.
well, here's the thing.
Epic fail.
It wasn't an epic fail. No. I did this in one shot. There was no need for anything else. But I'm trying to pour a mold, do it in stages, and I'm toilet training a toddler. Now, when they got to go, they got to go, right? So I've done 2 batches. I was doing it in a jug, a 2-liter jug, like that you have water in and pour water in, right? So I was doing it parts at a time, so I didn't overload it or anything like that. Anyway, so I've gone, I've poured the first 2 parts and let that set. And my son's like, I got to go. Okay, no worries, let's go. So we've gone to the toilet. By the time I came back, because it was still all liquidy, the flower pot stuff, like the foam, had lifted off the surface. I just used a bit of sticky tape to stick it to the bottom of the Corflute box.
I see what
And
you
it had
mean.
floated up and knocked the axe head on tilted it, right?
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God, what the hell am I going to do? Oh my God. I'm sitting there going, oh my God. Anyway, brainstorm. I had some paddle pop sticks. I sharpened said paddle pop sticks, got my knife, cut a couple of holes, and you can see the holes here. Or 1 and 2. Anyway, you can see them there. So I cut some holes in the side of the Corflute box. Pushed the foam down to the bottom, held it there, stabbed through the side with the paddle pop stick.
Oh, did that work?
Yes, it did.
Oh,
I got one
surprising.
either side of it, right?
Right, okay.
So I got one either side of the foam, that sat. But then I still had the problem that it had knocked the axe head loose from the tape where I taped it to the bottom.
But it was still liquidy, so you
It was still liquidy, so I could still work it. Nothing was set.
True. Okay, fair enough.
So I'm like, what am I going to do? Okay. Number 2, I got a couple more paddle pop sticks, sharpened them, put them in the top of the box, at the tip of the axe, on the actual. So like here, there's a little bit of a rough bit. So I actually put one here and one here, so it held it straight. Because this was heavy enough to sit on its own. Then I poured the rest of the mold and left. Left it overnight. Came to the next day. Everything is set. Everything looks really good. I cut using my trusty box cutter to start with a sharp blade on it. And I also left a small hole here, so that way I could pour. You need a resin thing to pour. Anyway, so I did that. That's done. And then we had the fun part of pulling this apart and popping the axe head out without breaking that part there, which is pretty solid. Now, I did not use mold release on the inside of the axe head. So popping that off was pretty, we had to jiggle it a bit, and yeah. But yeah, end of the day, done. Got it. So
If you
I can
had-
cast as many resin axe heads as I want now.
If you use the the mold remover, would that have made it easier?
Oh, it would have made it easier to pop out, yeah. Because
Okay.
it wouldn't have
Stuck?
been as sticky.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all in all, like, it came out beautifully, right? So I did have to cut down the sides, across the top, and down the front. But that's all right. When we cast this axe head, we put it back in the Corflute box that I made. I'm actually going to make like a plywood timber one, so it holds it a little bit tighter. Only because we did have some leakage where we had cut it, and the Corflute kind of doesn't hold it as well.
If you did it as 2 pieces, would
Yeah.
that have worked?
Yes, it would have worked. It probably would have worked. It probably would come out the same. I'd have the same quality. I'd just have a different type of mold.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I got excited and impatient and just let's do it all in one. That's just how it rolls. Like you get in the middle of it, you're like, yep, let's do it. And then that's that. So yeah, so that's how we created the mold and cast the axe head. Now I will have, when we edit, I will have some footage put up. By the time this video goes out, it'll be layered in there. You know, I worked out how to do that, so I know how to do that now. I'm getting better with my skills. All right, people. So yeah, we will do that, and it's something really cool that I like to do. And yeah, I'll show footage of us doing a cast of one of the clear axe heads. Now, because this works so well, there was two different axes from Nico Industries that I downloaded and printed, which is from Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I've printed out both. The other axe head is actually a bit thicker, and it's really gnarly. That one I would probably do a 2-part mold with. But yeah, all in all, it came out successful, and now I'm going to just make as many as I can. So that's that. So yeah, so we went over that. And our next video obviously will be like showing you a how-to of how we put it all together. And
is that including the lights as
that
well?
will include the light, everything.
Are you having sound effects for it?
You can get sound effects. I don't have sound effects on this one. I just got a standard, because that's like the cheapest core that you could buy, obviously. So I've got to do a little bit of remodeling for the buttons and stuff. So
you created that as well?
Yeah, so I actually measured it out against the side, and that's screwed in the lightsaber core. So that's all screwed in, but I thought, yeah, I'll do the buttons manually because that'd be better with a step drill. No, it's probably easier if I model it. And it'll come out a lot nicer and how I want it. So yeah. But yeah, we got the prototype done, so all I've got to do is a few tweaks and stuff on the actual model, the base I use, and then we're good to go. And I can print out more, and then obviously we can do. We can start our sci-fi Viking cosplay with our energy axes.
With that handle, is that to relate to the light? So you can change. So if you change the the color of the light,
yep.
Then you can change the color of the handle. You know what I mean?
I can do different color handles, but I would do all the handles the same.
Oh.
I'd probably paint them up with I'd give it like a wood type finish to like the handle, and then have these as intricate parts as like a gold inlay type stuff, so it looks like fancy, or even carved
How
out.
would you do that? How do you get the wood?
That's just painting. That's just painting and weathering.
Like spray painting?
Yeah.
And stuff? Okay.
Yeah. So like spray painting that. So it's like when we did your Slytherin saber.
That was heavy as.
It is heavy as, I know.
It's twice as big as me too.
But how cool did that turn out?
It was awesome.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. So that's that. So yeah, if you want to make some cool nerdy ass stuff, please like and subscribe, follow along. Let us know what you think in the comments. Our next video will be a bit of a how-to on casting the resin head, which is all lightweight. I'll show you what we used. I can't do that here in the studio, obviously, because it gets a bit messy and the fumes. So it's better to do that in a well-ventilated area using the proper PPE. But yeah.
PSA.
That's exactly right. So yeah, so let us know what you think. Once we have this completely finished, we will go do a photo shoot and a cosplay to match. Like we'll do like the full reveal of the nice axe and everything like that.
So you have the costume as well now?
I am working on a costume. So I have parts. I have parts of a costume. So I have parts of a Viking. Like I've got like the Viking, like the Viking shoulder, the fur over the shoulders. I've got some medieval clothes, obviously, as we go to the medieval fair here locally every year, which we will be going to again. And yeah, I also have an authentic drinking horn from Norway, which I can loop to a belt, and I drink out of. I do drink out of at home. Not necessarily the blood of my enemies, but like, listen, you know, whatever happens. But yeah, I think this is like a cool thing, and we could do something cool with it. So now that we've got the actual props out of the way, we can start on the costume, and we'll have videos on all that stuff at later dates throughout the year as we go along and do stuff. So, because like we have conventions planned that we're going to, we have other projects on the works as well, and we also have other stuff that we want to share with you guys because we're all nerds for something. So be cool, and we'll see you next time. Bye from me.
Bye.